Oh yes, please, because I will need water.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Poole Christian Spiritualist Church, oh yeah, does help, doesn't it? Try again. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Poole Christian Spiritualist Church, welcome to our divine service, and welcome to those online and also those that are going to catch up later. Thanks very much. I'd like to introduce our medium for this evening, afternoon, and that's Angie Freeland.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, she has been a medium for some years now.
Yes.
Worked extensively in Ireland and in Spain, and also famous for her paranormal activities in part of their paranormal investigations. With no further ado, can I hand over to you for the prayer, please?
Yes, by all means. Hello everyone. Sorry, Laurie's saying something there?
Sound down.
Ah, okay. Okay, so if you just like to close your eyes, we're going to get into that space now. That space where we can just be ourselves, be with ourselves, be with God, be with Spirit. Dear Lord, as we gather and unite here today, I ask us all to give thanks for the many blessings that we have in our life today, and for the many joys and wonders that each day brings us. And as the veil is lifted this afternoon, and we spend a few brief moments of time with Spirit and with our loved ones, let's give thanks for the love, the support and the guidance that we are given from the divine, from Spirit, from our guides and angels every moment of every day. I also ask us to spare a few moments to send out healing and prayers for those less fortunate for us than ourselves, for those who are sick, for countries that are at war and in conflict, and for those who are facing challenges in their lives. May we shine a light upon their path, and may we help them wherever and whenever we can, so they may get over the challenges that they're all facing right now. Amen.
Would you all like to join me in the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you very much. Would you like now to do your address and
Am I reading?
reading,
So,
please?
should I do the address first?
No, the reading, I suppose, would be better.
Okie doke. So, I mean, what I always try to do is I always try to kind of link what the address that I'm going to give to, you know, to the reading that I'm going to do. So just try and keep this in mind as I read it, okay? Having created a conscious sentient being in man, God in his wisdom has given mankind the capability of thought, evaluation, contemplation and expansion of knowledge. The question has to be asked, why? Man has the ability to explore aspects of himself and his surroundings above and beyond his animal instincts, and has been given a divine intelligence to use for better or for worse. He has the awareness of spirituality, which enables him to discover himself as a spiritual being, to walk the pathway of light, and to understand as revealed by the will of God. Man's purpose can be seen as twofold: to live a physical life with all its experiences, its difficulties, its joys and its sorrows, while simultaneously exploring and expanding his spiritual self with its awareness of God and spirit. In having a dual role, man is able to express himself both as a human being, as part of the creation of the animate life, and also as a spiritual being, as part of the creation of spirit life. The physical and the spiritual are indivisible in one human body, with lessons learned by the flowing of one into the other. This relationship of body and spirit is designed to produce an awareness of God, which will inspire and encourage spiritual development. Man has a propensity to think, learn and educate himself. He also feels the need to expand his consciousness to seek the knowledge for its own sake. An essential part of human character is the need to push forward frontiers of knowledge, to expound boundaries and to explore the unknown. Each time a new discovery is made, a new hypothesis tested, possessing a curiosity about the world, with answers to be sought and solutions to be found, leads to an expansion of awareness and realization that there is more to learn. Man rejoices in the intellectual exercise and the inventiveness because of each new discovery reveals yet another aspect of the wonder of God. That mankind sets itself the task of solving mysteries of a practical and intellectual nature is beyond dispute. Physical life in an earthly environment demands methods of survival that ensure continuation, sustenance and progression of the species. The human brain and the mind have developed to deal with the practicality, have nevertheless developed an aptitude also to think together for to form the whole being. Man comes to recognise that whilst he operates in his physical world, he lives in a spiritual environment. So, I mean, that for me says so much, so much. You know, it's about what we're capable of doing, both really intellectually, practically, and in every other aspect, including the philosophical part and the history of our past and all that we've learned from that and how we can use that. So, I'm assuming you want me to go on to my speech. Good, because that's where I'm going. So, you know, we all have wisdom within us. We all have philosophy within us. It's our very core, it's our very essence. It is the foundation stones that makes us who we are. We learn them from things that we are taught, we learn them, you know, from our experiences. But we learn them as a person because of who we are. And it has to feel right for us. If we look at religions, you'll find there's always a spirituality and there's always a theme that flows through, and that's about believing in God. That's about having that faith in a divine source, a supremacy. It's whatever, universal law, whatever you wish to call it. But it is about something that's far bigger than us and something that we can be close to that gets us through problems. And I know for me, I certainly feel that my God, has kept me going throughout this last year with all the challenges that, we've had in families, as we all do, but we see others facing as well. It's been a really difficult time, So I feel, there is so much that is given in the form of religion and that foundation, that spirituality. And that is the theme within many, many religions, is that, there is that theme that goes through. It's about having that faith, as I said, in God, but it's about something else. It's about how we live life. It's about what our truth is. What is our foundation? What are we setting within ourselves, within our soul? As we grow closer to God and we ask for prayers, and that's wonderful, we know that, if we have faith in somebody that's far greater than us, then that we know that feeling, we know what that's like to have that. But do we ever really step back and question about what else is it that gives us our foundations? It's not just a belief in God. It's so much more. It's a belief in ourselves. It's a belief in who we are and how we should live life. And that keeps us strong. Our belief in God keeps us strong. It keeps us going through prayers, through being there, through feeling that link. But what also keeps us strong is a belief on how we feel that we should live our life and how life should be led. And do we ever sit back and do we ever question, okay, so what is it that is really my truth? What is it that I actually believe? And I think, it does us all good sometimes to actually sit back and reflect and to think about that. Is what we believe inside really what we believe, or is this what we've been taught to believe? Does it sit comfortably? Does it bring harmony and peace within? And sometimes we also have to step back and say, okay, so do I still have the same beliefs that I had 5 years ago? Because let's face it, we all have more experiences, more challenges, more difficulties. Do I still feel the same? Do I still believe in God? Yes. Do I believe we're all a family? Yes. Do I believe that we should all lift each other up and never bring each other down? Absolutely, yes. Do I believe that we should help each other where we can? Yes. Do I believe that, if somebody does us wrong, that there should be karma, revenge, or retribution? No. No, I don't believe that. These are my beliefs. I don't believe that. I can't call myself spiritual if I'm really believing that, if somebody does me wrong, they're going to get a slap around the face through karma. I just can't buy that. And I don't feel that's what God wants of us either. Okay? Do I feel that, we should attack because we've been attacked? No. And I don't mean physically, by the way. I just mean when someone's not been very nice to us. No, I don't believe that. And don't get me wrong, I am by no means holy, and I am by no means innocent. I'm no angel, and there have been times when I have wished karma on people. There have been times when I've been down that road, and I'm not proud of that. But as I grow older and my wisdom grows, well, I like to think it's wisdom that's growing. As I grow older and my wisdom grows, I really do sit back and think about that. Because I've taken it for years, that perhaps people have to have this karma because of what they've done. But when I sat back and actually thought about, does God really want us to work like that? Is he really standing there and thinking, right, okay, someone's done you wrong, so you want them to have a slap around the face, so let's go do that? That's not the kind of people we are. That's not who we are. If we're looking for retribution, we're never going to find peace inside, and we're certainly never going to be able to give it around us in our environment. God knows what we go through. He knows that we have people that do us wrong, if you like. He knows that we have challenging times. But he also knows we have the capability to move on from that and to move away from that. Because to waste time in trying to think about how somebody has hurt us and keeping us there, it really does damage us, more so than it would damage anybody else. And while we're thinking like that, we can't create that peace and harmony within us that we also strive for. We can't build that up. And it's not part of our foundation. It's not part of the stones that we are setting in here. Because I don't believe there's any one person in this room that would go, okay, yeah, you know, somebody's harmed me, I'm going to go, I want to make sure vengeance is done. You know, I don't believe that's you, who you really, truly are. You go beyond that, and you go deeper than that. And I really feel that if we actually step back and think, okay, so who am I as this person? Do I believe in all that perhaps I've been brought up to believe in? Or perhaps I've believed in over the last X amount of years? And now I'm thinking, well, actually, that's not right for me. It doesn't sit for me. And I think it pays us to actually think about that and to work with that. And as I said, you know, I feel, as I say, I'm not innocent in life. I have wished karma on people. But now, as I grow wiser because I'm getting older, I honestly believe it's not worth it. And there's nobody that benefits from that. And that's the one thing. If we're too busy doing that, then we're not benefiting, which means people around us isn't benefiting, which means it's that chain of going on and going on and going on. And we will never find the peace that, that we all want. And we may not totally see that in our lifetimes, but if we can put something into the world that maybe somebody else can take, then we've got a chance the future can. So these are just my thoughts. You may not think the same, and that's okay. I understand that and I respect that, because we've all got our own different ways of thinking. Well, all I'm saying is just ask yourself, what are your foundations? Do you believe what you believed 5 years ago? Do you believe what you were brought up to believe, or has that really changed? It's just knowing who we are. That's all it is, you know, and that can give us strength through our toughest times as we stand up and be ourselves for our own truths, and it gives us that strength and courage that we need to get us through the challenges that we face. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Angie. That's very inspiring.
Thank you.
A lot to think about. We now come to the part of our service where we give time to allow our healing selves to reach out and heal others. Don't forget that we all need to think of ourselves for healing as well, not just for others. So if you'd like to join me in a few moments of quiet to the music, draw those loved ones close to yourselves, send out your healing thoughts to yourself and to those. Thank you. We have no music. Why do we have no music? gently come back into the room. Put the hand over to Angie if she contact your loved ones and friends.
Thank you. Okay, so as I was sitting there, I had this lovely lady coming through. I know with this lady, I feel as though this is mum. I feel her health declined slowly. I know that she had a lot of health issues. I feel, but I do feel as though this went on for quite some time. I feel as though, you know, I would say a natural death, you know, as natural as it could be. It was time, is what I mean. It was time for her to pass. I know that she would have been somebody that would have been very much very supportive to her family. She would have given her advice, and it would have been good advice. But I know also, just because she comes through as a gentle lady, there was a strength within her that really kept her going through her tough times. She had a real strong inner soul. She was capable of quite a lot that she could do. I know as her health declined, I feel as though her world becomes small, because I also want to say that, you know, I'm going into my stomach area, but I feel also in my chest area. I feel I'm having problems there as well. Who am I with this lady? You can take it. Can you understand this, my love?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Right, okay. So I'm just going to go and get some more information, okay? I feel also, do you know what she would have been very proud of? The way she dressed. Very smart. You'd understand that? Okay. And she would have been someone that, you know, she always seemed to be able to keep calm about everything. Would you understand that? Can you understand that? You can. Right, I could well have two here, for both of you, so just hold on a moment. So, but I feel also, even when she was poorly, I feel as though, you know, she just kept herself together, kept herself cut, and she was really proud of that fact that she didn't let herself go until she absolutely had to. And she was also somebody that said, yes, I understand I'm getting older, I need to accept this. So she wasn't somebody fighting against it. You'd understand that? No, but you do, don't you? Yes, I thought so. Okay, let me keep going just to confirm, because I could still have your lady there, so just hold on there. I also want to say she would have been somebody that would have nurtured you, through, not just through being a mum, but in other ways as well. She was an intelligent lady. You'd understand that? You'd understand that? Right, I have both here, so I'm going to ask your lady to step aside just for a moment, and then I'll come back to you, okay? So I know with you, my love, I feel as though you're very much like her in many ways. You understand that? Because I know that it's almost like, as I'm looking at you, you are exactly what she would have been. You understand that? I know also the colour of the clothes that you're wearing, I know she would have worn that colour a lot also, because she loved it, and she loved the red that you have there as well, and I know that. Now I know that she's also very pleased that finally you've decided that's it, enough is enough, and I'm putting my boundaries in and I'm having my life back. You'd understand that. And I know also, I know that when she was ill, she could talk to you about anything. You were there for her. You know, you didn't, it's almost like you didn't pity her. Other people seemed to do that around her at the time, but you didn't pity her. You'd understand that. It was like, just be mum for me. And you know, she was so grateful for that. Now I know also, because when she ate, she used to eat very elegantly. You'd understand. This was what I would call a lady, classy lady, you know, and she likes that. Like, oh yes. But you know, she was very elegant with the way she looked, with the way she ate even, you know, she had that, and she always kept herself proud, and she always taught you to do the same, no matter what. You'd understand that. You know, and I know that towards the end of her passing, I feel that, you know, that went for her. She, you know, even though she used to like her food and she used to eat it little at a time, it was never, you know, like tucking kind of thing, but all of that went. And she's letting you know, she used to like digestive biscuits, because she's letting you know she's got her digestive biscuits and her cup of tea's back. So you'd understand that as well. And I know that she had a special cup, because and she's describing it to me, and it's not a mug, it's almost, it goes round, almost like a bulbous. You'd understand that? Now I know that it's got a flower on it, but I know she loved that cup because it comes from her mother. I feel as though that came from her mum, or somebody that she adored within the family. You'd understand that. And I know that it's got a gold rim, and I know there's gold around the bottom, okay? And I know also, you know, she would have been so fussy, it had to be that cup. It had to be that cup. If anyone made her a cup of tea at home, you know. So she's got all that back. She's letting you know she's got, you know, her tea. She's got her biscuits back. She's got all of that. I do also feel before she passed, I want to say that she actually would you understand? I feel like she had a fall. Would you understand?
Yes, she did.
Because I know that I'm going, and that was it. She was it. She was in the hospital, and that was it. I know also you saw her, or you were with her just as she passed, because I know, and I know also that you went around the left-hand side of the bed, and you know you moved from the right, you went around the left, and you held her hand there. And I know that what you actually said was, "I'll straighten her hair up for her because she would be upset if her hair wasn't right." You'd understand that, and I know that you did that for her, and she knows that you did that for her. She wants to thank you, okay? She wants to thank you. She's letting you know she's in her garden. She's in her garden, and she's got all that back again because that used to upset her. You'd understand that, you know? And she's in her garden, and I know for a fact that her favourite colour of flowers was pink. You know, and oh, I don't know one flower to the next, so it's not even worth me trying to tell you what the name is. Come on, I'm trying to ask her if she can give me that. But I know it's pink flowers, but I know that they're mature flowers. They were in the garden. You'd understand they were in the garden, and she used to love working on them, you know. In fact, I feel that's probably where she had the fall, thinking about it, because she's given me that as well, because all of a sudden I'm seeing her in the garden and I know she's gone down. So I feel as though it's in the garden that she had the fall. I know also with her, she's shown me, she must have really loved that, because I know that I go out of a door, to go to the garden I have to turn left as you come out the door, and you have to walk up a pathway, and then you're in your garden there. And she, you know, she goes back there so often, so often, you know. So I know, bless her heart, she's got all of that, and she wants to give you all of that. But what she also wants to give you is, well done on thinking of you now. You know, you're doing the right thing. Move forward, keep going with it, okay? And don't give in, because people are trying to push you back in, and it's like, you know, you're holding your own there. So well done. Don't give in on that. And she's so pleased about that. And do you know what? She's also so pleased about the fact that you're picking books up again. You're starting to read again, because you haven't been able to do that for some time. So I know that she's watching over you very, very closely. And I know that she's like, I am looking after you the way you looked after me. You know, and she just loves being with you. And I know also she wants to say thank you for there was something wrong with her medication before she became ill. You understand this? And I know that I feel like she was on about 4 or 5. She's given me 5 different kinds of tablets, and you'd understand that one of these was orange.
Yes, yes.
Okay, because I know that's the one she had the problems with, and I know that's the one that upset her stomach. You'd understand that. So, you know, so she's, even though at the time she wasn't well, she was aware of all that. You know, she really kept her faculties until she had to go. But she, you know, she's fine now. She hasn't got all of that, but she does want to say thank you for sorting all of that out. You know, it meant a lot to her, because, you know, you really did look after her. I know that she's watching over the family, and I know she sees that there's someone in the family that's had a few tough times recently over the last year, and I'm not talking about COVID, I'm talking in other ways, but she wants you to know she's looking after them. Okay, and she's doing what she can there, all right? And know that she's always with you. Know that she's always, she was never afraid to say, I love you, you know? And you know, she says it now. She says it now, but you knew that. You always felt that. You always knew that. So keep that in your heart, because she's always with you. And I'm leaving her love with you. And I'm just going to take a drink. Okay, so I'm just going to come to you in a moment. I just want to take a drink. Yes, you can if you... You can, can't you, Laurie? Take your mask down if you're answering. Thank you. So, okay, so I'll come back to you. Now, I feel with this lady, again, I feel as though this is what I would class as a classy lady. I feel as though she, you know, she could handle any situation that she had put in front of her. And she had a quick wit about her. You'd understand that as well. She would have such a quick answer. Nobody got one over on her. Nobody got, and you know, she's very proud of that. She's very proud of that, but she had a strong, resilient side to herself, you know. And, you know, she needed it a lot of the time over her life. She needed that, because she didn't have the easiest of lives. And I don't feel she had the easiest of lives as it come up for the last 5 years of her passing, because I feel her body just started to go down. You'd understand that. And I do want to say 5 years. I feel as there's 5 years going on around that time, you know. I'm not saying she went down straight away. I'm saying it's over a period of time. And I feel with her also, do you know, the last part, would you understand that I'm really struggling to breathe? You'd understand that. You'd understand you two were very close. Are you all right, my love? Do you want me to continue? Okay, you two were very close. Okay, and I know that you two have such a good laugh. And what she loved about you, you had that streak in you that you say it as it is. You say it as it is, and that's what she was like. She tried to be gentle, but if they didn't listen first time, it's like, right, that's it. I've had enough now. You'll know. So I know, bless her heart, but do you know what? She just loves being around you right now because you are actually making changes and you are putting in those boundaries that you need to for your life. You've come a long way. The last 18 months for you has been really tough, and you speak to her so much, and you know what, you've asked her to come here today. You actually did ask her. She says, see, I told you I was listening. She's got her spirit back now. She kept her spirit as long as she possibly could. It wasn't, her spirit wasn't going. No. It was just her health that was going, So right up until the end, her spirit was there. It was so strong, and bless her heart, she's got that, and it's even better now, but she's looking at it, she feels as though your spirit has changed. You've come through so much, and now you're really up there. And I know she wants you to know the decisions that you've had to make recently, well done. Yes, if you're looking for approval, she gives it full sparks. I also know that you're now at a stage, because she's given me this, because she says she's let me know that she's going to support you, but you are actually at a stage in life now where you're starting to think about, well, what else can I do with life? What else do I want? Does that make sense to you? And she's so pleased to see that, because you put that off for so long now for the sake of others. You'd understand that, whereas you don't have to do that now. You have found happiness. You have found happiness, and now your self-esteem is growing with it, and she wants you to kind of keep doing that and keep moving forward, and she just feels she wants you to know, yes, you are moving forward. Never doubt yourself now. You can afford to look forward now. You don't have to look back. Okay, so keep that very much in mind. But I know, again, as I said, I do feel, I feel just before she passed, I feel you must have been in, but you moved away. Can you understand that? You were there, but you just moved. Not moved house. I don't mean house, but moved away from her. Just. You'd understand why I feel that? Moved around.
Yeah, possibly, yes.
You did. Because I understand that she's given me that she was aware of where you were in the room, and she was aware of what you were saying, and the fact that I know that just before she passed, I know that you moved yourself, and she said, look, she said, she said, but I knew exactly where you were, because I was making sure I did. She was staying with you for as long as she possibly could, and do you know what? She just wants to say thank you for all that you did. She never moaned, this lady. She never ever moaned. She just got on with it, and you're a lot like that. You're very much like that, But she does also say sometimes you do have to have your say, and I feel as though what she's given me is very much, at the moment, that is a necessary thing for you also, because it's like you are starting to, and she's really pleased to see that, and you are putting things in place, and it's about time to, learn to have your say even more, because she feels it's like, this is who you are, it's your truth. So she's just so pleased and proud. Now, she loved flowers. She loved flowers, because it's bouquets of flowers I'm getting. It's like that, bless her. And she would have loved the smell of them, And I always would brighten up a room. She used to say they brighten up a room. They lighten up a room. And when she was in the room, it would be very like that. She would brighten up a room just by being there, and that's what you miss. That's what you miss, because she was your best friend. She really was. And she knows how hard you struggle with what's going on and missing her. But she says, you're handling it so well. She's got some wonderful memories, because you guys used to do a lot. You used to take her out, you take her out. And I know that you would go for coffees, and I know that you would go for lunches, and there would be one place. It wasn't in a garden centre, it was near a garden centre that you would go. You'd understand the cafe, and she just loved that. She just absolutely loved that when, you used to take her there. So I know it wasn't in the garden centre, but it was near it, And she just used to love to just go round, and have that time and to look around, which she always felt that you gave her. You know, she didn't feel that everyone else gave her that, if that makes sense to you, but she always felt you did, you know, and she really did love that. She watches over you with immense pride. She told you when she was here that she was proud of you, but she's just reminding you, you know, that, and all the challenges that you've come through, she really feels as though you know, you've done it, you've made it. In her eyes, you've made it, and that's so important for her to say that, you know, because of the way you, not only what you've handled, but the way you handled it, okay? So I know, bless her heart, you know, it's like she needs to know this, you know, it's okay to go on to the next step. It's okay to go on to the next stage, okay? I know you feel her around you, you know, when sometimes you'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden, yeah, I know, because she's saying, yes, I am. I'll never be too far. I'll never be too far. And I know, bless her, she's saying, just be careful that you don't overdo it too much, because you tend to meet yourself coming back, you know, where you get yourself so busy. So I know that she's saying, just be careful that you don't do that, okay? And don't take on everybody else's responsibilities, because she feels as though you've been doing that, and you've been doing that recently, okay? And she's having a bit of a laugh at the moment because there's been something going on around your mobile phone. It feels like there's something, you know, it's either not working properly or whatever, but I know there's something around that. She's having a bit of a laugh at the moment. It's almost like, put it down. Start living your life. Don't let that, you know, rule you, you know? Know that she's always with you. Know that she, you know, she's is going to give you support every step of the way, okay? Know that she'll never ever be far, you know, and you know that, you know, you don't need to be told. And know that she's got her glad rags on, she's looking good, she's feeling good, you know, and she's putting everybody else right up there. And I'm leaving her love with you, okay? Right, just got to pour myself out some drink, some water. Okay, I've got a gentleman. Now, as this gentleman comes in, I want to have a laugh and a joke with him. I feel like he would have been somebody that would have been very quick-witted. But I feel as he comes closer, I feel his energy. He's very much a person that could go up in the air at times, you know, have his say, and then come back down again like nothing had ever happened, you know. But on the whole, he was a lovely man. He still is. His spirit is still as strong as ever. I feel that he had been ill, but I feel he passed very quickly at the end, because it's almost like, didn't quite expect that, you know. I knew I was ill and I knew it wasn't going in the right way, but I didn't quite mean to go that, like, I think I was going to go that quickly. I do feel with him, I want to go into the chest area. I feel as though there's a few problems in the chest area, and I feel in the end that's what took him. Who am I with this gentleman? Can anyone understand this? Can you understand this? Because I'm... Yeah, I thought so. You'd understand him, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. What can't you understand?
Sort of person you said he was.
Right, okay. Okay, well, that's not him then, because this gentleman's got quite a lively personality. Okay, can anyone else understand this information? Or most of it?
Most of it.
You can understand it. Great. Okay, what bit can't you understand? Because I'll go back in and ask why I'm getting that wrong.
The time period.
But you understand the passing quick at the end,
yes.
okay? You know that his health was declining.
Yeah.
He understands a bit at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got the time, just literally the time period wrong. Okay, that's good. But you'd understand he loved life. He loved to enjoy it. But oh my God, if he didn't like something, you know, if somebody like stepped on his toes in his principles, he could go up in the air and say what it is that, you know. But having said that, he was a good man.
Yeah.
You'd understand that. You know, so... Yeah, it's a relief to get that off, isn't it? And I know that you two would have had a lot of good laughs and jokes together. You'd understand that, okay? But you're quieter than him, but you've got that same kind of strength that he had. You'd understand that.
On par.
You know, so you understand what he's talking about, you know. But I also know that, you know, he just wants to remind you about the strength that you have. He wants to remind you because he feels as though at the moment you just need reminding of that, you know. And I feel also it's almost like life has changed for you as well. Not all of it has been great, but a lot of it you've come through the other side, and you're finding now that life is settling. You're finding now that life is settling, because I know he's letting you know life will settle. You know, you are now where you need to be. Okay, it's not that you went off course. It's that it's like, you know, it was. You were steered, of course, by some of the changes that came in, you know. But I know also that he wants you to know, you know, that you have that strength within you now to start thinking about, you know, the other things that you want, to start sowing the seeds, because there are things there that, you know, maybe you've put on the back burner that should come forward. Okay, so it's about taking a look at that, all right, and actually start enjoying your life. You know, it's been challenging. You know, we all have challenges. Life's never going to be easy for any of us. Sometimes the challenges are a little bit more difficult than others, but you know, he's letting you know that you're coming through that side, you know. I feel also, would you understand also with him, I feel as though, although he didn't show it, he could be a bit of a worrier, you know. He could get himself worked up over things. Yes, that's what I mean. Although he didn't show it, he could be a bit of a worrier. And he realises now there is some of that in you, but he's glad to see that's changing. It's like all of a sudden do you know what, I can't be bothered with this anymore. This is just too much. And he loves to see that attitude, because he would have liked to have had that, you know. He would have liked to have had that. I also know with his passing that it's almost like, well, if you're going to go quickly. And that suited him, really. That suited him, because he didn't want his world to become small. He just wanted to, you know, enjoy life right up to the end. So that was down to him. And I know that he feels that you were also pleased that happened for him, that he went quick, because he wouldn't have been able to handle it too greatly any other way, you know. Know that he's always around you. He's supporting you 100% with any decisions that you make now. You're at the point of decisions as well, and it's like, know that he's with you with that, you know. He still wants to see you have a good laugh and a joke, and he said, I know that he's getting there, but it's not quite there yet. So I know that it's almost like, yeah, come on, have a laugh and a joke, you know, enjoy life. You can now, and he sees that you are starting to do that. It's just about keeping it going, okay, and, you know, knowing that you deserve it and that you're worth it. You've got a very good inner strength in you that focuses on what needs to be done, and you're doing it, and he's letting you know that is working. It's, you know, you're getting through that. Life is better. Life is changing. You know, he is proud of you. He is proud of all that you're doing, all that you've done, and he will continue to support you from there. Okay, but he does laugh sometimes. He says, you know, one of the things that he really realises now since his past is that perhaps he should have, you know, lightened up a little bit, you know, not always do that internal worrying, and not always be thinking, oh my God, what have I got? Yeah, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and stuff like that. And that's one big lesson that he learned, and he wants you to remember that, you know. So lighten up, enjoy a bit. Not that you're not lightened up at the moment, but a little bit more. Enjoy life, and know that he's going to actually be around you and watch you enjoy it as well. And I'm leaving all his love with you, okay? Ooh, okay. Right. Oh. I have a lady coming in here. Now with this lady, I want to say, I was big in personality, but I was big in size as well. I was cheeky. I would say it as it was. I did have health issues, but I went down, you know, I went down slowly, really. I went down slowly. I was my own worst enemy, because I wasn't allowed to eat the things that I should have been, you know, that I loved, and I carried on eating them. Who am I with this lady? I just feel her whole health, it's you, isn't it? You know, her health went down, and she was really cheeky. She was quite forthright. You'd understand that. She was quite forthright, and she'd say whatever it is she wanted to say. She didn't care. You'd understand that. But as she comes in, her personality was large, but so was she, you know. And I feel as though there were problems with her sugar levels, because I know that there were problems with her before she passed around sugar, and there were conversations about whether or not she should, maybe they were considering if there's been something a bit more that they should be doing for her, you know, because you know, but she wasn't helping herself, because she was eating the stuff that she wasn't allowed to eat, which created the problems, as you know. You were there with her, and you kept her going, and you kept her strong. You'd understand that, you know, but you also had to tell her. And she's just, you know, she's got quite I would say quite a dirty laugh, and I mean that in a nice way. You'd understand that it's a piercing laugh, and she's laughing. She would laugh then, she'd laugh. She's laughing now, you know, because she said, yeah, I did it my way. Yeah. You know, I did it my way. Nobody else's way. They weren't going to tell me what to do, you know. And I know she loved her cakes, okay. And do you know what she's taking me to? cream horns, you know. God, I haven't thought of them or heard of them for years. But cream horns.
Similar to that.
Yeah, you'd understand why I got that.
Yeah.
And she loved all that. But when she passed, I know you went into a cupboard and you found a load of stuff that she shouldn't have been eating, that you know she had been. She's like, there's this old stash, but it was old. It was old. It had been
No, I
sitting.
can't take that.
You can't understand that.
No.
You can't understand the stash of sweets
No,
and cakes
not stashed away.
in a cupboard.
No.
I would call it a stash. Well, when I say a stash, I'm
No.
talking about there were sweets that she wasn't allowed to have been put in a cupboard, not necessarily in a.
She just did
No.
when she got them.
Oh, she got them right. Okay, so I've got that bit wrong. I've got that bit wrong. So they didn't last long, really. But I just really feel there is something there, that I'm going to stick with it, but I'll leave it with you. There is something there around finding sweets that she never got around to eat. It was like they were in somewhere. They were in somewhere. It may come back to you, it may not. I may have it wrong.
I can take that, but it's not.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean about the stash. That's what I meant.
She always had a bowl on the table.
Right, so you because I know that they weren't allowed to be, they weren't meant to be there, they weren't allowed to be there, and you found them when she passed, and she's having a good old laugh about that, because right up until the end, she did it her way, you know. But you know, I mean, you're very like her in some ways, because you say it as it is, and you will not take no messing. You will not take no messing, you know. But she, oh, that's it. New pair of glasses needed, but never mind. So, but do you know what? She does feel sometimes, you know, it's kind of like you're taking on other people's responsibilities sometimes, you know, and you're doing a little bit too much, you know. But I think that I'll have a bit of a laugh about that, because actually she was a very caring lady, and
Yeah.
she would have been exactly the same. And you know what? I know that she didn't have any regrets. I know that she didn't have any regrets about, you know, about kind of doing things to people and whatever like that, but she feels as though she wants to say to you, just step back a little bit, you know, because everyone's looking to you to sort stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, and she feels as though this is getting a little bit, you know, it's like it's wearing you out. It's wearing you out, and they're quite forceful the way they're expecting that, you know.
Yeah.
So she's just asking for you to step back. She feels as though, you know, you've tried to tell them. There's been that block there. You've been trying to tell them, but they're not quite listening. You know, stand your ground. Stand firm, okay? As she would have. She's making me laugh now, because as she would have, I'd have told them, you know. And she, in her own way, she's kind of like, you know, having, like, watching over, she's making sure that you're all right. So in her own way, she's kind of working with that a little bit. She's giving you all the support and the help that she can give you from where she is, you know, which you need right now, you know, because it feels as though there's stuff it's not quite settled for you yet. You know, it's very up and down for you at the moment, and, you know, you're the one that's expected to sort a lot of stuff out, and she said, you know, sometimes you just need to pass that over. You just need to say, okay, no, you do that, you know. So I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. Now, I don't know if it's you or if it's her, my love, but I feel I want to say there's a bad back. You understand this? It's, yeah, because it's right here. It's right there, and I feel. Yeah, and I feel as I want to, you know, she has problems in stretching it and stuff like that, but the pain was quite severe. It wasn't anything, you know, light. It was quite severe, and she could take pain.
Yeah.
But that beat her. That was really, because she couldn't get herself comfortable, and I feel as though she suffered with this a lot before she passed. She'd understand that. I know that there were problems with her legs as well, and I know that this is where the you know, they were looking at doing something because of the sugar levels and how blood sugars and stuff like that, and how it's affecting her body. So I know that had a connection with that, but I know that she had problems with her legs as well. And do you know what? I think in the end she was just so tired. It was, you know, she was so tired with everything that she had to deal with, you know. But I know, bless her, she could be quite stubborn. At times, you know, and when she was ill, she was very stubborn at times, because she didn't want to lose her independence. She fought for that, you know, but she realises how difficult she got at times, you know. Now, what I'm not getting is a sorry. I'm not getting a sorry. No, but what I am getting is a reflection that maybe sometimes I was a bit unreasonable. You know, and you need to take that as it's like, okay, this is her saying it as she really feels it is, you know, for her. She's not going to actually say sorry, but I think the mere fact that she's reflected it, I always feel that's their way of saying, I know what I did wrong.
As near as I get.
As near as you get, you know, because it's never going to be any other way. Because she's shown me incidents, if you just think you've got it sorted, and you're just about to walk away, and then she calls you back. No, I need this, or I need to do that, or I need this, and this went on. You know, but she loves it. She loved it. You know, it kept you on your toes. It kept you on your toes, she said. But she is, you know, she is watching over. She does see all the challenges that you are facing, and I know it's kind of like very much, you know, do your best, but don't do too much. Other people have to take their responsibility as well, you know, and you need to step back and watch your own health, you know, because like her, you can say it as it is, but you still take a lot to heart. So watch your own health with that, because I feel as though that's, you know, what she's given me is, you know, that that's actually not, it does have an effect on you, you know. So take that, okay. She had an energy full of love, you know, and she had, you know, people just loved her. She could be quite, when she was in the room, she could be like, oh my God, she's in the room, because you'd know it. But she was still lovely, you know. Yeah, you either love her or you hate her. Yeah, exactly. I think she's lovely. So, yeah, but just know that she's with you. Know that she's doing her bit from there. And just remember what she said, okay? And I'm leaving her love with you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, here we go. Oh. Yeah, one more. I'm just going to take a drink. Oh. I never drink as much water as when I'm demming. Okay. Oh. I've got a gentleman coming in, and I feel with this gentleman, this is Dad, and I feel Dad was a very, Dad was a very gentle man. He was somebody that, he was very much somebody that people would see as a gentleman, and that, you know, people loved. He was a really lovely guy. Real, you know, the word gentle really does mean gentle with this guy. So I know that he, you know, he was well respected, he was well loved. I feel as though his health declined, and I feel as though his health declined quite quickly, actually, because I feel I'm going down, and I'm going down quite quickly. I feel as though, you know, he would have been somebody that you could talk to, and you could learn so much from him, because although he was a gentle and a kind man, he just had a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, and you know, he always seemed to be grounded, and he always seemed to say the right thing, you know. So, but I feel with him, as I'm going down, I feel my stomach area is playing me up terribly, and I feel as though, in general, I've just had enough, because my health is, the body was closing down. Who am I with this gentleman? Is it, you can understand this, Laurie? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So you understand this, you know, I mean, this man was just full of a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, and you know, all of that, and he lived by that as well. He lived by that, and I know that you guys would have been close. I know that you guys would have been close, and I feel as though he's been gone a while, but you still very much feel him around you, because I know that it's like he lets you know that he's still very approving of what you're doing. You'd understand that. There isn't anything you couldn't talk to him about. He could be so open. I mean, he's just so lovely. I want to wrap him up and put him in my pocket and take him home. But yeah, he is just so lovely, and he would have been very much, you two would have been very much each other's backbone. You'd understand that, you know, and there was never anything you couldn't talk about, and it was the same for him. So I feel when he passed, there was nothing that he felt hadn't been said. You know, this man, he had knowledge in so many ways, but he wasn't afraid to roll his sleeves up, get stuck in, and do something that was, you know, could be quite physical. He'd actually enjoy that. He would enjoy that, because I feel my hands, I want to use, I want to work with, you know, and I feel that. Oh, right, okay, it's just taking me straight to, you stood his ground for him when he was really poorly. You stood his ground for him. You were the one that made the decision, that you understand what he's talking about. Something was not going to happen. You were the one, and I feel as though this was with the hospital. That is not going to happen, and he is so grateful and thanks you for that. Okay, because it's very much like, you know, if that had happened, that would have been so hard for me to have taken. You'd understand it. So he was so appreciative of the fact that you actually, you know, it would have, you made sure his wishes were, which, you know, that's what he wanted, and that is what he was going to make sure that you were going to make sure he had. So he's so grateful for that, and you know, he was a guy that said thank you, and he says it up in spirit now as well, and you know, he just wants to thank you for everything. But you know what? He's letting you know. that he's being bossed about again by Mum. Okay, so you know, she's putting him straight, you know. And this guy, you know, he would be somebody that take me as you find me. Now, normally people loved his personality because he could take me as me find me attitude. But you know, and it's also the way he was dressed as well. It's like, I'm not going to make any efforts to be anybody that I'm not. This is me. I'm happy. But your mother would come along and say, no, sort this out, you know. And he would. And he would, you know, and so, oh gosh, he must have had to have lent some ties off of you, because it was like, yeah, the amount of ties that I lent off of you, so you understand, the amount of ties I had to lend off him. But do you know what, she's put him straight, but he wouldn't have it any other way. He would not have it any other way, you know. He's got no regrets in his life, and he's glad to see that you haven't either, you know. Now, I know that it's like, he knows that you are worrying about certain situations right now, okay? And he's letting you know, look, you're not on your own with that, because sometimes it can feel quite lonely. And he's letting you know that you're not on your own with that, all right? That he's doing his best there, and actually so is Mum, you know? You know, he's doing his best there. Do you know, it's interesting, because I feel with him, he must have liked music when he was here, because he's letting me know that music is playing, and he's playing the music, but the music is very melodic. It's not like band music, it's something that you would sit and I want to say like classical and stuff like that, and he's got all of that around him now, because before he passed, he'd actually lost interest in that because of his health, you know. And do you know what is making me laugh also? When he became really ill, when it was, you know, as I said, it was going down fast. I know that there were some people around him, and I feel, again, this is in hospital, they were treating him like he was stupid, you know, and he's saying, I was never stupid and I was never confused. They were making out I was, and you know what he means by that, you know, and he feels quite, I was never stupid and I was never confused, you know. But he's now back in his place. He's now got his, you know, his music, and he is happy. He really is happy. I do want to say again, I'm going back to the hands. Would you understand? I want to make things. Would you understand? I want to make things. You know, and I want to go. Maybe it's woodwork or something, because I'm getting wood. So I feel as though there's something going on around that. He was always doing something, but all the things he did, he loved. He wouldn't do what he didn't want to do, you know. And he's glad to see that you take that as well, that you're very much that person as well, you know. And he's glad to see that you, you know, all that you've achieved. And I'm not just talking about the church. You've got other things that you've achieved on, and you know. And recently, one of those things that you've achieved, it's only just happened. It's within the last 6 months, and it's like, yeah, you know. Well done. Do you know, he loves to see people achieve things, not necessarily through qualifications, but through the experiences of life, you know. And he's very much around you at the moment for all that as well, because he feels as though you're doing so much, you are achieving a lot. You've still got a way to go with stuff, but he's letting you know that you're not on your own when it comes to the worrying and sorting stuff out, and you know what he's talking about. I'm not going to say anything here, okay? So I'm going to leave that with you. He was never afraid to say that he loved you. Yeah. He was never afraid to say he loved you. You know, he would say it. He had so much love to give. You know. So would you understand, there's a gentleman in spirit with him that's a bit livelier than him. It's you know, they don't quite get on, because they're very, very different. I mean, they do get on, but they don't quite match up in what their personalities are like. I suppose there's the yin and the yang there, you know. And he's still keeping him under control. You know, Dad's still keeping him under control, because it's almost like his energy is up there, and it's, you know, whereas Dad is quite, no, let's, you know, he's grounded with it. This one is still quite lively, and he's, oh, I've got my hands full. I had them full when I was in, now I've got them full with him up there. But, you know, he's laughing with it, you know. Just look after yourself. Okay, know that he's always with you. They always are. All our loved ones are with us, you know, especially through the hard times. And keep on doing what you're doing, okay? And they'll support you to the hill. And I'm leaving all his love with you, okay? See?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Angie.
My pleasure.
Excellent as usual. Some very good evidence. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, would you like to finish with the closing prayer?
I will. Okay, so if you can just all close your eyes. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of our meeting today, we give thanks for the lovely messages of love, comfort and support that we have received this afternoon. As we leave, Lord, I ask please that you help us to help others wherever we can, to be of service wherever we can, have a sympathetic ear when someone needs it, and to understand the plight of others, particularly at this time, and to help us to be of support to them wherever and whenever we can. And for this we would be so truly grateful. Amen.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you again,
Yes,
Angie.
thank you.
Can I just mention, Angie is an author as well as a medium, and she has a book for sale if anyone's interested. Keith, her husband, will tell you about that.
He's